Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Wednesday, May 26, 2021. We're in the final hour of the trading day. The final hour of the trading day is my favorite time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. And I say this because during the day, you have the algorithms, you have the day traders that are controlling the price of the stock prices. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in. They are dealing obviously with the most money. They have very smart people, best information, best technology, best research, and they take control away from the day traders and the algorithms at the end of the day because of the amount that they are buying and selling. And because of the reasons I just mentioned, I believe they have the best idea what the most valid price is. And therefore, I like to make my buying and selling decisions based upon what they are doing at the end of the day, making my decisions right before the market closes. So anyway, thank you for coming today. It's nice to see everyone. I always look forward to this time of the day. I appreciate you spending your time here. I hope by spending your time here, you are learning some good things about trading and investing. And I hope it's paying some dividends for you. So, all right, the Dow is currently down. Oh, I just saw it up. Is down 10 points, down 0.03%. The Nasdaq's having a nice day, up 77.13, up 0.56%. And the S&P is up 6 points, up 0.15%. So here is the plan for today. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at all my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have a couple day trades today that I will share with you as well. After that, we'll go over to the board where my students have their current positions. We're going to go through each one and see how they are doing. I'm looking over there, mainly green today, which is great. After that, we're going to talk about trader psychology, most important part of this podcast, everyone. Setups, entering, exiting, all that kind of stuff is important. Don't get me wrong, it is important, but the most important thing for the long run, not day to day, but the most important thing in the long run is, can you follow your trading plan? Do your emotions get involved and make you make mistakes? Get out too early, get out too soon, not take the trade that you're supposed to take, right? It all has to do with controlling your emotions. So I like to talk about trader psychology. After that, I have gone down through my watch list. I have gone down through the results of Kamal Scanner. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a new trade. First requirement, I must have a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up on multiple time frames. Ideally, I look at each indicator like MACD, RSI, ATR channels, moving averages and V1, V2 entries as signals to tell me that buyers could be coming into the market. And if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible, you will have a better chance to have a profitable trade. That's why I like to look at multiple time frames for this. Secondly, you have to have a good risk to reward ratio, at least 2 to 1, minimum 2 to 1. If you're risking $1,000 to the downside, you need to be able to make 2,000 or more to the upside to make the asymmetrical math work for you. And then number 3 and number 4 is make sure you have a complete trading plan. Trading is not just about buying and selling when you want to sell it or when you feel like it, right? You have to have a complete trading plan always. You have to look at market volatility. You have to know how many shares to buy based upon that volatility. You have to have an emergency stop. You have to have an end of day stop. You have to have intraday profit targets if you trade that way. You have to know where significant overhead resistance levels are going to be, and you have to have a trailing stop protocol or rules in place so that if you do have a profitable trade, you just don't give it all back if it starts to go down. And then number 4, make sure you put a little time and thought into correlation. How many correlated positions do you have? You know, if you have 10 tech stocks today, you're doing well. But what about if tomorrow the tech is down in a big way, right? I've said this before, but the secret to my success, if there is such a thing in trading, are 3 things. 1, I like to trade different type of stocks, different industries. I like to get outside of equities, even gold, bonds, silver, right? So I like to have diversified types of stocks and industries that I am trading. Number 2, I like to trade on multiple time frames. You know, I trade 5-minute bars on the short side on the shortest time frame, 5-minute bars, but I also trade monthly bars, right? And weeklies and dailies. And I like to trade many different time frames to help smooth things out. And then I like to trade different trading approaches, not just the same trading approach. So different trading approaches, different time frames, lots of different markets, right? So why was I talking about that? Oh yeah, because I don't want you to be too correlated in any one type of industry with your stock positions. So like I said, I've gone down through my watch list. I've gone down through the results of Kamal Scanner. I do have some end of day candidates that look promising. So as we get closer to the end of the day, I will go through each one. We'll look at multiple time frames, risk to reward ratios, keeping in mind correlation with my current positions, and I have a lot of them. So I'm going to have to factor all that in. Not as easy as it all sounds, right? Just drive your Lamborghini and sit around in your underwear and your slippers all day. It's not how it works. Kind of wish it did. So, all right. If I find something, I'll buy it before the close, after the market closes. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you need clarification on anything, please let me know. Happy to clarify. If you have any stock symbols that you would care for me to look at, I'm happy to give you my opinion. Just put them in the chat, put an emoji by it so I know it's time sensitive, and I will do my best to get to it before the close. And then lastly, if any of my new students have any positions, new entries or exits for me that they'd like me to update on the board, just please go ahead and wait till the end of the day before you tell me about them. That way the market's closed, I'm done trading, pressure's off, all that good stuff. Okay. All right. So I'm going to run the US legal disclaimer and I'll see you in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, let's see who is here today. Lova, good to see you, my friend. So proud of Lova. It's working so hard. Dan is here. Love to all. Love to all. Right back to you, Dan. Hope you're having a good day. There's Tracy. Hey, Tracy. Hi, Greg and everyone. Good to see you, my friend. Really impressed with your trading lately. Steve Burns is here. Good to see you, Steve. Appreciate you being here. Always an honor, privilege to have you here. And thank you for everything that you contribute to this podcast. Steve says, hello, traders. I'm at the doctor's office. I'll post my new trade entries and exits when I get back out. Have a fun hour. Okay, Steve. Thank you. Hope everything's okay there at the doctor. And yeah, check back in with us. And thanks for giving us the update. Dan says, Steve, I hope it all goes well, Sensei. 100%. Lova says, CI, there's so much sideways motion that it moves sideways when it returned to value. Also, there's a V1 and a false breakout that tests the 50 RSI. Weekly is an uptrend with the 5 EMA support. Okay. If it comes from Lova, I know it's got some signals. Cigna. Yeah, it's really good. Where's my thing here? CI. Let me do some math. This is worth burning calories on math. It's good. I mean, sideways motion, false breakout, the downside, V1, weekly, holding support, 100% correct. I'm putting that on the list. Very good. Really good. Let's see. Okay. Excellent. Excellent analysis. We'll look at that. Lova says QSR, it has a V1 bullish engulfing bar that tested the 50 RSI. There's also a recent test of the 50 SMA. Weekly has a strong uptrend. Yeah, there's some nuances here on this one. This one came down, it's made a lower high. See the lower high? I would actually really want this to wash this out first. I know it's a bit of a nuanced situation here. I mean, it's still a V1. There's no doubt about it, and the weekly is pretty good, but we came down, we made a lower high. If I ever make a lower high, I like it to wash out the lows first. Like CI made a lower high here as well, but then do you see how we washed this out and triggered the V1? That's what I'm talking about there. Lovett says, I think QSR might be better because the 50 SMA has been tested. Well, yeah, but it still has that lower high. David says, hi, Greg and group. Good to see you, David. Mount Doji, what's happening? Good to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope everything is well. Frank is here. Hello, Greg and group. Hello, Frank. Good to see you. Appreciate everything that you do for this channel each day with your poems. Johnson is here. Hi, Greg, everyone. Hi, Johnson. Good to see you. Hi, Kamal. Good seeing you, buddy. Hope you're having a good day today and hanging in there, and appreciate what you do for the channel. And I also deeply appreciate our friendship. Lilia is here. Hi, Lilia. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Lilia has some nice trades going on that we're going to see in a little bit. Yavar is here. Nice to see you, Yavar. Hope you're having a nice day. Paxton. Hey, Packy. Good to see you. All right. Well, we have a lot to do today, so I'm going to have to get moving. Okay, speaking of different time frames, Gary and I bought AGQ, which is double leveraged silver, on the weekly. This is a good example of the weekly bars returning into the value zone, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside, V2, under 50, over 50 SMA, moved up immediately after buying it, rejected the 50 RSI. I had to take off half here at about 45.74, had a second leg up with the other half, up to trailing stop level. So if I get a close below the previous day's low, I will sell another half of a half. But this has been a long-term trade on the weekly, but this has moved 16.18% in our favor. APPN, this is on the daily bars. David, Lilia, Jonathan, and I did buy APPN back here with an under 30, over 30 at 83.84. It's currently 85.82. It's up 3.32% today, and up about that much on the trade as well. So MACD went positive. This is looking good so far. Doordash, I did buy Doordash on the weekly along with Tracy and Paxton and Jonathan. We bought Doordash at 137.48. It's currently 141.12. It's up 2.58% so far on the week, and up 2.58% so far on the trade. ISRG is my only stinker today. Frank and I bought ISRG. Does back test well with the 520 crossover. Bought it here at $843.75. It was up earlier in the day, but has come back. Again, I used the 520 crossover. So I'm looking for a close below both the 5 and the 20. I'll get out of half. If the 5 actually crosses under the 20, I'll get out of the second half. Lilia asked me whether or not she wasn't able to buy this, luckily, whether or not I would, whether she should buy it today. And I mean, I am keeping this trade. So as long as this trade is still valid, then why not get a 1.11% discount? I mean, the price action is negative today, so you have to factor that in as well. But I am keeping this trade for sure. But this one's down on the day, and it is down on the trade. MSTR. Gary, Tracy, Lilia, and I did buy MSTR MicroStrategies back here at 454.92. It's currently 485.09. It is up 3.28% on the day, and it is up 6.62% on the trade. Did hit a one profit target here at 488.12. So that one's looking good. PKI, this is a weekly trade. Oh, what happened to my numbers on PKI? I'm going to have to go back. I must have accidentally erased that. Who is in this with me? David, I think, is in this with me. I'm not sure. I don't have time to look. But anyway, right about here is where I bought it. I bought it with this higher low V1 bullish engulfing bar, 520 crossover, right about $140.80. It's 143.81. It is down a little bit on the week. but it is up 1.95% on the trade. Roku, all right. Paxton and I bought Roku with a 520 crossover at 347.48. It's currently 350.67. So it is up 1.44% on the day, and it is up on the trade. SPY, of course, I buy the overnight SPY trade every day at the close of the market. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. I bought it at 418.24 and I sold it at 418.89. This has been a good week. Look at this. Close to open profitable, close to open profitable, close to open profitable, close to open profitable, close to open profitable. So 5 days of profitable trading on the overnight SPY trade. One thing that does concern me though, we have this gap left open. We also have this gap left open. You know, markets like to tend to fill gaps. So I wouldn't be surprised to have some kind of a pullback based upon some of these gaps. TER. Jonathan, Gary, David, Paxton, and I did buy TER back here on the 24th at 127.70. It's currently 128.66. It's up 0.10% today, and it is up about 3/4 of a point on the trade. Monthly, this is a monthly trade that David, Paxton, and Tracy and I took at 10.52. It's currently 10.61. This trade is up 0.95% so far on the trade. Twitter, it's been a really nice trade for all of us. Miko, Gary, David, Tracy, Paxton, Kamal, and myself did buy Twitter back here with the under 200, over 200, 52.58. It's moved up beautifully. It is more than 1.5 ATRs for my entry, so I'm looking for a trailing stop level of a close below the previous day's low. Did hit a profit target here at 58.18. Currently, this trade is up 9.36%, so way to go. Apple, okay, so I had a intraday trade on Apple that I'm going to share with you. Then I'll show you the swing trade. But this is your standard garden variety under 30, over 30 that happened here. I didn't want to chase it. I wanted to see if I could get a bit of a pullback. It left without me, and I thought, I guess I should have bought it. I came in here halfway the washout bar. I got it at 126.49, which was the low of bar. And it's really hard to do that, but I did get it. I got it at 126.49. It immediately moved up. I sold half at 126.69. I sold half at 126.77. Sold half at, let's see, at 126.81. So really nice trade in about a half an hour, and you know, it was like 1/4%, but not bad for half an hour on the 5 minutes. So let me get rid of these, and then we'll look at the swing trade. So the swing trade was a deep dip buy back here at 122.60. It's currently 126.70. So rejection of the 200-day, had a nice buy there, moved up strongly, moved 1.5 ATRs from entry, had a close below the previous day's low, sold half, rejected the 200, has kept moving up, took profits as we went along. Is down a little bit on the day, but so far from entry to exit, this trade is up 3.27%. And then I did have one more day trade today, very small loss on VIX. I bought it here with an under 30, over 30. I bought it at 36.18. 2 bars later, it closed at 36.15. So I lost 3 cents. Not too bad, right? So, all right, there we go. Those are my positions. Let's take a look at yours. Steve Burns did buy. Steve, Gary, Frank all bought TQQQ, which is triple leverage Qs. Bought it at 101.60 yesterday with a 520 crossover. It's currently 102.79. It's up 1% even. So up on the day, up on the trade. Steve also bought 520 crossover on the regular Qs at 332.78. It's currently 334.14. That's up 0.35%. Fastly, Lilia having a great day on Fastly with an under 30, over 30. Lilia bought this at 43.70. It's currently 47.90, up 5.95%. Way to go, Lilia, up 8.87%. Beautiful trade, Lilia. Speaking of another beautiful trade, Gary bought Beyond Meat under 30, over 30, and just nailed it. Bought it at 107.52. It's 126.58. It's up 5.78% today. And Gary is up on this trade 15.07%. Tesla, nice entry here for David. Bullish engulfing bar, V1, rejection of the 200-day moving average. Bought it at 606. It's currently 623.79. It's up 3.12% today and nicely up on the trade. Shopify. Kamal got out of that yesterday with a beautiful trade. ASML Lilia bought ASML at 648. It's currently 666. Is down on the day, but it is nicely up on the trade. Adobe, Steve bought Adobe with the 1050 EMA crossover, bought it at 498.29. It's currently 507.30. So this trade is up on the day, and this trade is also up 1.74%. Total, DT, Tracy and Paxton, look at this beautiful trade that they bought here with this deep dip by intraday rejection of the 200-day moving average, 44.50. It's 51.71. It's up 1.08% today, and it is also up 14% on the trade. Way to go, you two. David bought a false breakout to the downside, V2. Nice setup, just didn't work out. Bought it at 94.51 on the weekly. It's 90.53. It's down 1.63% on the week so far, and it is down on the trade. Airbnb, Kamal bought at 134.90. It's currently 135.13. So it is up on the day, and it is a little bit up on the trade. Uber, Gary and Tracy and Paxton bought Uber. Gary bought it at 48.20. Tracy and Paxton bought it at 47.40. It's 51.15, up 1.37% today. And I'll take an average there, up about 6.75%. So excellent trading, everybody. NVIDIA. Steve bought NVIDIA with the 520 EMA crossover. Tracy, Paxton, Lilia, David, Jonathan also bought it at $677. Keep in mind, everybody, earnings are today after the bell. I know Steve is going to be selling his position after the bell. It's up 0.35%, and so far, this is up 4.3%. So way to go there. ELY, Frank, this just keeps motoring up. What a trade. Frank bought Callaway Golf back here at $27.75. It's $37.10. It's up 5.19%. And you guys ready for the grand total here? Up 25.32% in a matter of a couple months. Wow. Boeing. Kamal bought Boeing all the way back down here near the low, 221.10. It's 240.85. It's up 0.05% today, and it is up 8.17% on the trade. Pins, looks like Steve bought Pins here with an under 30, over 30 at 58.01. It's 63.18. It is slightly down on the day, but it is still up nicely on the trade. Boy, there have been some great trades on this, almost up 8%. And then lastly, another trade from Steve with Sony. Steve bought the under 200, over 200, 95.19. It's 98.95, up 0.61% on the day, and up 3.76%. Wow, our board's getting bigger. It's getting bigger and bigger by the day. Excuse me. Jonathan, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Kamal says SKLZ. Has a 520 crossover, has a fractal. MACD is positive, under 50, over 50. I think that looks pretty good, Kamal. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly's over the 5 EMA. Yeah, I think that looks good. Yuvar says NIU EMA 520 crossover above and MACD positive. Yes. Over the 200 MACD positive for sure. I get a little hesitant to buy these kind of big bars. It's up 8.24%. My honest opinion on a trade like this would be wait for a little bit of a pullback while the 520 crossover is still in place. Or another methodology that you could use there as well, Yavar, if you just have to have it, buy half your position, keep another half in case it pulls back with the 520 cross still in place. I kind of like that methodology as well. Kamal says, nice trade, Lilia and Gary, 100%. Lilia says, thank you, Kamal. Mamal says, hey, Mamal, good to see you. Fiverr has an under over 200. Yes, it does. And a 520 crossover, Mamal. So I will go over that. I have that in my list. All right, here is Frank with the poem. This is going to be great. Let me hurry and paste this in here, and let's read it. Never give up when faced with a doubt. As you go to bat down, Never give up when faced with a doubt. As you go to bat down to the last out. Most traders have withstood many a rout. Persistence gives a trader clout. It's the stuff that makes a crowd stand up and shout. That's true. I mean, we're taking baseball and we're doing an analogy with trading. You can do an analogy with trading with most things in life, but it's, so true. You're faced with doubt. You get routed. Eventually you'll have a trade that makes people stand up and shout. Let's go one more time. Never give up when faced with doubt. As you go to bat to the last out. Most traders have withstood many a rout. Persistence gives a trader clout. It's the stuff that makes a crowd stand up and shout. Unbelievable. Thank you very much, Frank. That's wonderful as always. David says, Twitter trying to move to close the big gap down after earnings. Well, it's above the high of the gap down earnings. Are we going to get up here to 63? We could, for sure. Ava says, hello, Greg and all. Hi, Ava. It's nice to see you. Ava says, Bill has a 520 crossover. Oh, I haven't looked at Bill for a long time. It does. Don't know if it back tests well, though, Ava. Anybody have any confirmation that the back test works with the 520 crossover? I don't want to give you bad information. Gary, hey buddy, hey Greg and group, I sold half my Beyond Meat, will update end of day. And by the way, Gary, I just wanted to Gary told me earlier that he lost a friend of the family today. They lost one of their cats that was 15 years old. My heart goes out to you, Gary. Of course, I've been through that many times, but it's always so hard to lose a friend of the family. And so I just wanted to tell you here on the podcast, you have my condolences to you and your family, and be thinking about you and your family and your cat today, Gary. But yes, please update me at the end of the day. Ronald Bettis, anyone invest in NXTTF? I don't know what that is. NXTTF. I can't pull that up on my charts there, Ronald. Sorry about that. There's some stock symbols I can never pull up. All right, let's see what's happening here. All right, APPN's doing great. Dash is doing great. ISRG is my only stinker today. Monster's up nicely. PKI's up nicely. Roku's up nicely. Overnight Spy was great. TER up marginally. UNG up. Twitter up. Oh, and Apple is my other stinker today, but only down 14 cents. So that's not too bad. So, all right. Listen, before we start looking at potential end of day trades, I'm going to take a drink of water. Hold on. But before we start looking at end of day trades, let's switch gears, talk a little bit about trader psychology. It's the most important skill in a trader's tool chest for sure. And I have my favorite Twitter and Facebook channels out there. And one of my very favorites is Trading Composure. You've heard me talk about and cover his post many, many times. He's on Twitter at Trading Composure. Do yourself a favor, go over there, subscribe to his channel, read and internalize everything that he writes, because boy, is he good at it. And let's see what Trading Composure has to say today. The market is a wealth transfer mechanism. You ever heard that before? I'm sure you have. The market is a wealth transfer mechanism. If you lack the discipline to stick to your trading rules, sooner or later, you are likely to be an opportunity for other more disciplined and process-driven participants. This is the nature of the game you're playing. There's a lot of smart people out there that trade, everyone. It attracts some of the smartest people in the world, and that is who you are up against. Remember that. You are up against highly skilled minds and highly skilled machines. So, I mean, we're just little guys. We're retail traders. Do we have any chance? Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, we have some advantages. We can get in and out of positions easily. Some funds have such large positions, they can't just hit a button and they're out, right? They have to get out slowly over time. They're going to drive the price down. So we do have advantages as retail traders where we can easily move in and out, and we should use that our advantage. But he's right. The market transfers wealth from some people to the others. And if you lack discipline and you do not follow your trading rules, sooner or later, your money is going to be taken by the more disciplined and process-driven developments. What's the takeaway on this post? The takeaway on this post, good risk to reward ratio, position size conservatively based upon the volatility of the market, buying at strong, likely, valid support, getting out quickly if you're wrong for a small loss, having the guts and the fortitude to stay in it if it moves your way. That is what it's about. So thank you, Trading Composure. Always really great posts. They always help me to read them out loud, and I hope it helped everyone else here as well. Gary says, thank you, Greg, means a lot. Yeah, my heart goes out to you. Those are such difficult days, man. Ronald says, it's Namaste Technologies. Yeah, I tried to pull it up, but I can't. Unfortunately, I cannot pull it up on this chart, Ronald. Feel free to tell us what you like about it or what you think is going on technically with it. Pins. All right. So we have quite a bit here, but as I was saying before, I have a lot of positions. Like some of them are weekly, so they're smaller positions. I've sold half on a bunch, so don't want you to look at all these positions and think I have full positions on all of this, because I do not. I've phased out, I've taken profits, I've sold half. UNG, yes, it's a full position, but it's on a monthly, so it's very small. I have other ones on the weekly that it's a larger time frame, so it's going to be smaller as well. So I honestly don't know if I'm going to take a position today. My only thought is actually to get out of Apple. I don't like how it's acting with the NASDAQ being up 78 points and Apple being down and having issues with this 50 SMA here. I may just go ahead and lock in profits on Apple today and switch it out for another better setup. That's been in my mind since the beginning of the morning. All right, here we go. Fiverr. Fiverr has a confluence of signals. It has a 520 crossover, and it has a close back above the 200-day moving average and the -1 ATR channel. So that's a combination. That's a confluence of indicators, 520 crossover, and also a close under over the 200 for a deep dip buy. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly is above the 5 EMA. It's up nicely today, up 2.88%. If I buy this, my stop on this will be a close below the 200-day moving average. So this one is definitely a potential for me today. Fiverr. Lyft does not have a 520 crossover. Earlier in the day, I thought it had a 5. It was getting close to it, but no. So I'm going to take Lyft off. Netflix, I was looking for 520 crossover, but it is not happening, so we'll take that off. Nike has a 1050 EMA crossover, 134.61 compared to 134.58. So currently it is crossed over. I don't know how excited I am about buying it with being stuck at the 100-day moving average. It rejected it here, got above it for 1 day here, but failed. You know, anytime you look back and you see that a certain moving average has been respected as resistance or support, it makes me think, and I don't love the risk to reward ratio there, so I'm going to take Nike off. Lululemon has a 520 crossover. This does backtest well. I backtested this earlier. Let's look at the weekly. Has that 50-week moving average above. Certainly can keep going, but it's moved quite a long ways. I don't think I'm going to buy the crossover after such a high extension. If the market pulls back and we get a pullback to the moving averages, but the 520 crossover is still in place, I would be interested in buying it there. Although, look, this very easily could go up another 6 points and test that 200-day moving average. But again, I'm all about risk to reward, so I'm going to get rid of that one. GNRC has a better risk to reward here with a 520 crossover. I like that it's over the 50-day moving average. Let's look over on the weekly. Weekly is still in the value zone, so it does have some room to potentially move up to about 340. So this does backtest well. That one is potential. I will keep that one also. CI is the one that Lava brought to our attention. Return to value zone, lots of sideways motion, false breakout to the downside. How many shares? 785,000, and it is a V1, right? With a day 2 goes below day 1, day 2 is closing above day 1's close. So that is going to be, what's our level there? 259.60. Oh, I had it. How about that? All right, so that's also good. It's 55.27. Let's see if we went under 50 today. Did we get under 50? Oh, yeah. Yep. So if I do buy this today, my stop would be right here, halfway of the washout bar. So pretty good risk to reward ratio compared to, you know, what we could do to the upside. And again, the weekly, a little high for my taste, honestly, but it is holding the 5 EMA, and that's pretty good. And then, so that's a potential as well. So what are my potentials so far? Fiverr, GNRC, and CI, and pins. Pins has an intraday rejection of the 200-day moving average, which is good. Has support of the -1 ATR channel, which is also good on the weekly. Went underneath today, tested it back up. The only thing that I look at here a little bit that crosses my mind is that it's down on an up day. So the relative strength is weak. So, you know, that factors into my decisions as well. I don't like that one as much. JWN, was this an under 30, over 30? Probably. I know some retailers really got hit hard today. No, it didn't even bounce. It didn't go to the 30 RSI, so we can get rid of that. MKC, no, just too large a ranges of bars. Wabtec, looks like it has a 520 crossover, but I I don't know how this back tests, so I'm going to stay away from it. A, B, and B is Kamal has that. Would I buy that today? Probably not. I mean, we have a lot of sideways motion. This thing is going to move probably strongly one way or the other, but unfortunately, I just don't know what direction. CLNE has been holding that 200-day moving average. I don't think I would buy it there. We're right up against the 10-day. MTH, Meritage Corporation, only has 181,000 shares traded. So those are too few shares for me to buy. And ALK is Alaska Air Group. I mean, we have a V1 followed by an up bar, which is bullish with sideways motion. It's okay. It's okay. But it's a little ski-wampus. I mean, it has one signal. It has a V1 to the downside that didn't work, that moved up today, which is definitely positive, but I don't think it's positive enough for me to want to get involved. So Fiverr, multiple signals here. 520 crossover, good risk to reward ratio on the 200. On the weekly, holding the 5. I would have to say Fiverr is my favorite today. We have a nice 520 crossover in GNRC as well. But the risk to reward, in my opinion, is not as good. And then CI, let me take a look at the spread on CI and see what 7 cents. I'm going to go with Fiverr. The only reason why is when I look at CI, if I look at the weekly, we're up here at the second ATR channel. You know, we got rejected at the third ATR channel. So if I look at the weekly on Cigna, we're in the area where more likely than not we come down. If I look at Fiverr, we are down in the value zone on the weekly. Remember, I like to buy in value, sell above value. If we look over at CI, it's doing well, but it is above value. So that being said, makes it easy for me to go with Fiverr today. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sell Apple. I'm just going to lock in profits on Apple here today. It's down on an up day. That concerns me a little bit. It's having problems with the 50 SMA here. So I'm going to go ahead, just lock in profits on Apple, and I am going to replace it with Fiverr because it offers a better risk to reward ratio. That makes sense? Okay, so let me come over here. Little bit of a spread on Fiverr. Just want to remind everybody about that. Lova says NXTTF is thinly traded and a penny stock. It failed at the 50 RSI and is below 200 SMA. Lova, that's awesome. I'll tell you what, I'm 100% confident in your analysis. If I wasn't able to look at it, if you say it, I believe it, and I can't look at it on this chart, but who said that? Ronald. You know, who knows? Maybe it goes up from here, maybe it doesn't, but from what Lova, you know, the analysis he just did, it's thinly traded, which is bad in my opinion, in the penny stock, and it failed at the 50 and it's below the 200-day moving average. So from a technical standpoint, that's not very strong. Okay, so again, I am going to lock in profits on Apple unless we close above the 50-day moving average and close really strong and close positive. Then I will exercise my right to keep it. But as it is now, it's having an issue with the 50-day moving average. And I have puts on Apple. I sold puts on Apple. So if Apple goes up, I'm happy as well. But I just think, you know, locking in the profits on Apple, which right now are decent 3.33%. and going to Fiverr with a better risk to reward ratio, because if it closes below that 200, I'm just out of there. Does that make sense? So it looks like I'm going to sell Apple and I'm going to buy Fiverr. I don't see any other issues with any other stocks today. That looks fine. Dash looks great. ISRG down 1.11% today, but I am going to keep this because the 5 is still above the 20. Monster, it's having a, not Monster, Greg, it's MicroStrategy, sorry. But regardless, it's up 2.69% today. PKI's up. Roku's up. Oh my gosh, am I gonna have to buy the SPY by myself? Heaven forbid. Yes, I don't. I didn't put it in for market on close order. Please, somebody help me not forget to do that. I don't want to do it right now, and it's 15 minutes. I can't do it 15 minutes before the close, so the system won't allow me to do it now. So I'm just going to have to do it myself. Heaven forbid. TER's up, doing well. UNG having a nice day, up 0.75%. Twitter selling off a little bit. One profit target there. Apple I'm selling. What do we have? VIX. VIX is pretty low. My gosh. What is that? 36. 36 divided by 4. That would put VIX at $9. Remember, we were always $10, $11, $12. We are at $9 on the VIX. So puts are getting extremely cheap to buy, which paradoxically, when that happens, usually we're close to a top. That's how I look at it. Johnson says FVRR is struggling to get above the 50 SMA. Yeah. I haven't really tested it yet though. That's still $12 away. Oh, snap. Now we're below the 200, everyone. If it's below the 200, I'm not buying it. That had to move down there. So it's below the 200. If it's below the 200, I am not going to buy it. I don't like that it could not find any buyers above the 200 and now it's below. But things could change in the next 12 minutes. So fair warning here. I've changed my mind on Fiverr unless we close back above the 200. But I'm still going to sell Apple regardless. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, shall we? So this is the Perpetual Bitcoin that I trade on Binance. Do you see how today we got up to the 200-day and rejected it? So right now we are in purgatory beneath the 200-day and above the 250-day. I did buy Bitcoin here with the rejection of the 250, sold it here, nice trade, 13%. But now this rejection of the 200, I don't like that. It needs to go higher or lower for me to get interested. So it either needs to close above the 200-day. I would be interested in going long at that point. Or if we move back down, reject that 250, I would also be interested there, or if we rejected the 30 RSI. Currently we're at 35.41. If I got an intra-bar rejection of the 30 RSI or a close under and then a close back over, looks like we would have that confluence of the 250-day moving average and the 30 RSI. That would be pretty close. So about 34,940. So close to $35,000 is where I would be interested in Bitcoin to the downside, but it's 38. So that's, $3,000 or so, $2,800 below. So it's just in one of those spots where it needs to go higher or lower for me to get involved. And, some people, newer traders go, it doesn't make sense. You just want it to go lower, right? Yeah. But if it closed above the 200 on strength, then it would give me a good risk to reward ratio. and it would show me that some buyers are coming in. But I have a feeling Bitcoin's just going to bounce around between this level, make a base, and then eventually head down or head up. But again, if it closed over the 200 SMA, that would be my area to buy. If it closes, if it rejects the 250 below, I would also go long there. If it loses the 250 and loses the 30 RSI, then we can move down significantly lower. But who knows? I just watch the charts and they'll tell me what to do. Looks like VIX is picking up a little steam here at the end of the day. Off the lows, yeah, look at that. See the V2? Under 30, over 30, right there. If I've been watching the VIX, I would have day traded that. Under 30, over 30, rejected the negative third ATR channel. I would have bought there, probably would have sold half there, probably would have sold another half there, probably would have sold the rest here with this rejection of the 50-day move, the 50 RSI and the 50-day moving average. Fiverr still under the 200, so I can't do anything with that. Oh, okay. Johnson said 200 SMA. Gotcha. Yes, it is. It is. All right. So Steve entered Fiverr at 195. 195. Okay, so Steve did enter Fiverr with the 520 crossover. Steve also entered GNRC. All right, that was the other one on our watch list, GNRC. He also entered IWB 236.40 on the 530 SMA crossover. So that is IWB, I think, is the Russell 1000. And I don't have a 530 chart handy, but I will definitely get that down. Steve exited NVIDIA at 627 for a 4.39% gain. I had to exit before earnings after the bell per my rules. Good. And Steve also entered Nike. We talked about that one also. He entered Nike at 137.21 on the 10-50-day EMA crossover signal. And we'll take another look at that one. Yep, 1050 did trigger, right? And my analysis on this one was I don't like it because of the rejections here at the 100 here, 100 here, and technically 100 here as well. So I may not buy anything today. I may just be a seller. And I'll just hold out here and see whether or not we can close above the 200 on Fiverr or not. But right now it is under. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sell Apple. Look at VIX. That was definitely the place to sell VIX there when we rejected up there. Yeah, double rejection of the 50 RSI and the 50 SMA. And Fiverr is still under. So, does anyone else have Apple but me? No. All right. All right, so I will get those all taken care of. Lilia is out of NVIDIA, half of ASML, and in IRSG. Good. Well, you got a nice little discount on ISRG there, Lilia. I like buying dips after the crossover. Kamal and I discussed this the other day. having the 520 crossover. And, you know, also, well, no, I'll discuss that with Kamal first before I mention anything. But yeah, Kamal and I discuss the nuances of crossovers, and I, you know, depending how they happen, I buy them. Obviously, I bought this yesterday, which hasn't turned out, but I love pullbacks after crossovers. One, to get a lower price. Two, to get a better risk to reward ratio while the 520 crossover is still in place. But nice trade on Lilia, Steve. Nice trade on Lilia. Nice trade on NVIDIA. Sorry, NVIDIA and Lilia. Nice trade on NVIDIA, Steve. And nice trade on NVIDIA, Lilia. And taking off half of ASML and getting a discounted price on ISRG. $35.99. All right, so Fiverr looks like it's under the 200. I already got rid of Apple. Oh, I have to buy the overnight SPY trade. Okay, nobody reminded me. All right, so it looks like SPY is selling off a little there on the 5-minute. Have that sideways motion and now it broke to the downside. And now going back up. And Fiverr, how are we doing on 5? Still under. All right, I'm just going to buy SPY just so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm buying my overnight SPY trade manually, heaven forbid. And I will brave the last minute of the market with the SPY. All right, I'm done. Ten seconds on this end. All right, that's it. I only bought one thing today, and I got rid of Apple, so I did buy SPY at 418.86. Ah, got a good price on it. All right. So 418.86. All right. And that's it. And I got rid of Apple. I locked in profits on Apple, and that's all. So if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me today, feel free, go ahead, put them in the live stream chat. I will get to them. But first, 3 pieces of business. One, just want to remind everybody, I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I feel like I'm really good at it. I know I teach a really good course. The course that I teach is 15 hours, 5 sessions, each session 3 hours a piece. That's where you get your 15 hours. And really, learning one-on-one from someone is the best way to learn anything. And that's why I offer this one-on-one course. But I teach you all 5 of my trading setups step by step. Doesn't matter if you've traded or not before. Even better if you haven't, to be honest with you, right? So the cost is $1,750, but I think it's worth every single penny because what you get and all the wisdom and experience and that I'm going to bestow on you during this course. So it's an investment in yourself. I know you're going to be a better trader when you're done. So if you're interested, send me an email. The email's in the description here of this video. And if you email me, just say, hey, Greg, interested in potentially taking your course, I will reply to you and say, great, let us let us have a Skype call. I just want to learn more about you and your trading and your experience and your goals and your trading challenges. And then it's also a good time for you to ask me any specific questions that you have about the course. All right. And then after the Skype call, you can think about it as long as you want. And, if the feeling moves you and you decide, I want to take that course with Craig, just email me back and we'll get it started and we'll get going. Secondly, I do have a really good course on udemy.com. It's an online video course on the deep dip buy stock trading strategy. Super affordable. It's like $12 to $15, but it's a substantial course, 9.5 hours of video, 26 videos total, 15 study guides, and I teach you step by step how to trade the deep dip buy stock trading strategy, which in where we're at right here, last week, that's why we've had some of these really good trades like Twitter and Apple because of those deep dip buy entries. And so I'll teach you in that course how to do it. The link to udemy.com is in the description. Spend the $12, spend the $15, take the course. I promise you will be happy and you'll make a lot more money than $12 or $15 over there if you do what I teach you in that course. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I really would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. Does help to build the channel, keep the channel around, lets YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. And, I'm happy to give out all this information and I'm happy to do it for free and to try to help everyone. But all I ask is that you just hit the thumbs up button in return. Okay, done with business. Let's take a look here. So I know we have some things going on. Okay, Steve entered Fiverr at 195. And that's Steve on the 520 EMA cross. Okay, we've got that one, Steve. GNRC. Steve entered GNRC at 320.13. All right. Steve also entered IWB at 236.40. Oh, I nailed it. 530. 530 EMA cross. Steve exited NVIDIA. Okay, because of earnings, congratulations. Steve also entered Nike. 137. $21. And that's with the 1050 EMA crossover. Okay. Lilia is out of NVDA because of earnings. Out of a half of ASLM. Out of a half, and in IRSG, all right, I'm going to put a line here for Lilia there, and we're going to put Lilia here. Okay, Paxton is out of NVIDIA. Tracy and Paxton are out of NVIDIA. And in Bill. Okay. $520 crossover in the V1. All right. V2. Okay, there's Packy and Tracy. Frank is out of IRSG. Gary says, nothing new today except sold 1/2 of Beyond Meat. So you sold 3/4 of this, if my math is correct. What a trade. What a trade, Gary. My gosh. Frank says, condolences on your pet, Gary. That stuff really hurts. Yes, it does. My condolences as well. It's nice to have a good trade and all that like you did, and I'm glad you did, but never is makes up for the sadness of the other stuff, right? Ah, man, 15 years old. I mean, obviously good long life for a cat, but yeah. All right. Fiber. Oh, Gary has, or Steve has fiber in GNRC. All right. So I got out of Apple. So I had a net reduction in positions today, which is just fine with me. All right, so listen, before I let you go, you know, I like to read this every day. If we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction. This is from Martin Cornfield. let's just do what it says. Let's go out, try to do one nice thing for another human being today. Let's try to go out and do one nice thing for an animal today. It's going to make the animal grateful. I promise you, it will make the human grateful. It will make you feel good. It's a win-win all around. So let's just try to make this a habit every day. All right. All right. There's our Bitcoin chart. We'll bring this guy back over. But yeah, nice day. Where did we end up? We ended up 10 points up on the Dow, 80 points up on the Nas, and 7.86% up on S&P. Interesting day, though, that the S&P was down up 0.19%, but the VIX was down 4.75. Wow. So puts are getting very inexpensive, everyone. And paradoxically, when puts get inexpensive, you're more likely than not near a short-term high, right? Doesn't mean it has to happen, just historically. I mean, if we look over at the put call ratio right now, I bet it's way down. Yeah, it's way down. Is that today? 25. Yeah, so it's going to be, he'll be down here tomorrow. We'll be in this area. And you can see whenever we get into that area, that's usually about the low. I'm not saying we're there exactly. We could be close, but anyway, just something to think about. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Have a good rest of your day. Get some exercise, do some deep breathing, drive safe, be kind to your neighbor, do a nice act of kindness to someone else, do a nice act of kindness to an animal if it crosses your path, and basically have a good rest of your day. If there's anything else I can help you with, just type it in the chat. So I'll hang out for a couple minutes, and if there's anything, we will get to it. What about NVIDIA's earnings? Anyone look at those? Well, it's up 1.62%. I don't know if they've come out yet. I'm reading here, Bitcoin traders using up to 100 to 1 leverage are driving the wild swing in cryptocurrencies. Gosh, you think? 100 to 1 leverage? You think that might cause some emotions to get amplified? Duh. Ava says, thank you, Greg, and everyone. Thank you, Ava. Thank you for everything. I mean that. Lova says, thank you for everything, Greg. Your guidance and encouragement are immensely valuable. Well, good. I hope they are, because it's from the heart when I'm telling you that, Lova. I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you. All right. And just going to remind you one more time, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button and you found something valuable today, I would really, really appreciate that. And let's see, are there any other questions? I don't see any. So maybe we're good for the day, huh? So what's today? Today's Wednesday. I did get my garbage out, by the way. I know everyone's proud. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Thanks again, everyone. Take care. Hope to see you tomorrow on Thursday during the last hour of the market. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.